What's good, ladies and gents? Welcome to the MKO Pugilism Boxing channel where we talk all things box. Remember to like, subscribe, hit the bell notification, put it on all so you get notified as soon as we drop new content on the channel. Let's get into this one. So tomorrow we got the big rematch for Undisputed at light middleweight or super welterweight, whichever way you want to put it, between Brian Castano and Jermell Charlo. Now, this is a rematch of the very good fight between these two that took place last year, 2021, a little while ago now. I don't know, about 9 months or so ago. Yeah, it was very explosive affair, very good fight. It was one of my sort of favorite fights of last year. I really enjoyed that one, and they fought to a split decision draw in the end. So there was no winner, there was no undisputed champion in the end when they fought the last time. So now this is the time tomorrow to answer all the questions to see who really is the man at that weight division and who is going to become the undisputed at super welterweight. So for me, the way I see it, one of the factors is going to be who sort of who comes in there, of course, obviously with the better game plan, and who can make the adjustments now, and who can maybe do something different from what they done the first fight. The first fight was an absolute war. Charlo, he's the sort of bigger, taller man, longer wingspan and everything, the sort of taller, longer guy. But he elected to fight in the pocket and to really have a scrap, have an all-out war, and that made it very entertaining for the fans. But I would say when you compare and sort of contrast both boxers, Castano is a little bit the shorter guy, slightly the smaller guy of the two. Obviously is at a disadvantage when it comes to height and everything. So his way he'll have the mainly sort of the one way of beating Jermell Charlo, which is going to be, he's going to have to sort of come in with a similar game plan as he did before, at least in my eyes. I think he's going to have to come in with a similar sort of game plan. He's going to have to try to sort of stick it on Jermell Charlo. He's going to have to come forward, close the distance down, try and, like he did successfully several times in the last fight, which I think, if I'm not mistaken, I had him winning the last fight. I thought he done enough, but it was that close that you couldn't even. I don't think you could really argue with the draw too tough. But for him, he's going to have to, his way of winning it is limited in the way that he's got to stay on Charlo's chest, stay right in front of him. I think he's got to use a lot of this bobbing and weaving. He's got to make sure that. Unlike the last fight, where certain times his head was quite stationary when he was coming in, so he would attack and then he would be there for the retaliation from Charlo. He would be right there to be hit. So I think for Castano, the adaptation he's got to make is I think he's got a decent jab, so he's got to sort of jab his way in. I always like to see sort of a double jab. You don't see that much from professional boxers, but I think he's got to step in with his jab, double jab, and sort of get inside Charlo's wheelhouse, get inside into close range, and start bringing his short uppercuts up, and bob and weave as he's coming in. I think head movement is going to be key for Castano in this fight. I think he's got to sort of always be moving his head when he's trying to attack Charlo. Make sure that Charlo doesn't sort of catch him with anything on the way in, because the last fight, Charlo caught him with some beautiful right hand counters and hurt him quite bad. I mean, both men were hurt, but I would say Charlo probably did slightly more damage in that fight. So yeah, he got caught by a few good solid counters in that fight, so he's going to want to watch out for that as he's on his way in. He's got to make sure that he's always off the line with his head, bobbing and weaving and jabbing his way in. I think for Castano, he's got to, as I like to say, invest in the body attacks. start going to Charlo's body from early, from the word go, from round one. He's got to sort of go for Charlo's body and, be attacking that early, even jabbing to the body hard, good hard jab to the body, good hard right hand to the body, and, try and get in close and try and hurt him to the body if you can from early. And sort of try and, I would say, for him, if he can do that, then he can sort of slow Charlo down, and then that will pay dividends for him later in the fight. Invest early in the body, head movement, double jabbing your way in, making sure that you're a difficult target for Charlo to hit, even being sort of side on, and make sure you don't square up your shoulders. I think that's going to be important. But his way of winning it, for me, he's got to attack, he's got to be ferocious, he's got to be in Charlo's face, kind of like how he fought the last time in a way, but just with a bit more head movement, a bit more finesse to the game. But not that he didn't fight well, but that, for me, that would be it for him. And I think for Charlo, Jermell Charlo's got to sort of keep it longer this time. I would say, you don't let Castano get close to you. You're the bigger man. You're the man with the longer arms, the bigger wingspan and everything. So I'm saying you box in a way where you keep the man at the end of your punches, and use a lot of. I know they like the hooks, they like the uppercuts, but you do them when you're sort of inside. I'd say try and keep it straight, try and keep it long, is what I would say with Jermell Charlo, because I think if he uses his feet a bit, uses movement, uses all of the ring, takes steps back, steps to the side, little pivots and stuff. If he makes sure he's a bit of a moving target, uses an effective jab, and uses the straight shot, so that when Castano's at range, when you're both at this punching range, if you're making sure it's bang, doubling up that jab, it's the jab, he's got to take a jab every time he blinks, bang, jab in his face. That's what you want to do with Castano, really. You want to make sure that you sort of hit him and hurt him with straight shots every time he even thinks about coming in, so that would be my thing for Charlo, that instead of making it in, allowing it to become a brawl like it was last time, try and make the fight easier for yourself by sticking with boxing, sticking with the basic things, the straight punches, the long punches, and if the man does get in, tie him up. I don't think that's something that Jermell Charlo really does. He doesn't really tie up guys, and that's fair enough. But I'd say, keep it long, keep it straight. When he does come in, you can tie him up. He's got to reset, got to go back to the center of the ring again. Then you just keep it long again with the straight shots. If he does come in, you see your opportunity, bring him onto your counters, bring him onto your hooks and uppercuts when you get the chance. But I'd say for the most part, just use your boxing skills. Use all of the ring. Use the fundamental things, the basic 1-2s, and just keep it long, and don't allow Castano in where he can be useful, where he can have success. The last time he had a lot of success because he was allowed to get close, he was allowed to get in punching range and all this sort of thing. But I think if Charlo actually uses his size advantage, his reach and height and all this sort of thing, I think he could win the fight, and it will never be easy, I suppose, because Castano's a very talented fighter too, but I think it will be an easier fight than the last time if he just uses his attributes, uses all those natural advantages that he has, and just sticks to boxing. Don't brawl unless you have to. And I would also say that, as I've said for Castano's side about attacking the body, I'd say same for Charlo. But with Charlo, you can mix up, as I think I said the same about Bivol and Canelo, where you can sort of use your jab to the body. Yeah, so the bottom line for me on this one is quite simple, really. I think for Castano, it's quite obvious. I would say fight a similar fight to last time. As I've said before in the video, go to the body early and try to try to get to Charlo, hurt him to that body early, slow him down and try and slow the pace. Make sure he, try and make him gas, make him slow down by hurting him downstairs. And then you bring your shots up to the head and, you want to fight in close quarters. And in terms of Charlo, it's kind of the opposite. I would say that as much as he's got, got the heart of a lion and he really wants to have a fight, he's a natural, aggressive guy, wants to have a fight, wants to have a scrap. I'd say kind of scrap that, pardon the pun for that, but kind of scrap that style and keep it long, box from distance. Don't allow it to become a scrap, don't allow it to become a fight. Tie the man up. And when you're at range, you're the bigger man. Keep him out. Use your straight combinations. Use your straight punches. Simple 1-2s, things of that nature. Bust him up with that. 1-2 and then left hook. Things of that nature. And you got, as I said before, a little jab to the body as well. So that would be my thing really for both men. Castano, he's got to be up close and personal. He's got to bob and weave, you move his head, stuff like that. Keep the fight at close range. For me, Charlo, the best way of him winning it would be to sort of keep it long and try and hurt Castano from long range and try, keep him at the end, tie up if and when he comes in, and make it a boxing match rather than a scrap, because making it into a brawl gives Castano a lot better chance of winning the fight. So as far as outcome, I think Charlo is going to take this one on points this time. I think there might be a knockdown or two in this fight, but I reckon Charlo is going to take this on points. Jermell Charlo on points for me. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comment section below. And until next time, it's MKO Pugilism over and out.